So the first legal principle that I'll be going over is contract, because without a contract, you can't have a breach of contract. So a contract is a set of promises constituting an agreement between parties, giving each a legal duty to the other and also the right to seek a remedy for the breach of a promise or duties. There are two different elements that go into contracts, and the first would be a contract dispute, which would lead to a breach of contract. So contract disputes tend to arise when the promise or future promise is not fulfilled. This would be that the party is not fulfilling the side of the contract that the court has sanctioned. So in this type of instance, the subject can face a heavy fine or to fulfill the agreement on court order. The next part would be there are 4 different elements that make a valid contract. The 4 different elements to make a valid contract are agreement, consideration, contractual capacity, and legality. Agreement is the first element. An agreement is an agreement to form a contract that includes an offer and acceptance. So an example of this would be if I offer someone to make me $500 to make me 500 shares for $500. So I offered him something and he accepted it. The consideration is the promise made by the parties in the contract to have some legal sufficient and bargain in it. This means that something valuable and promised must be used to convince the other party to accept the deal. So the $500 that I'm giving him for the 500 shares is kind of like the bargain, because he'll be getting $500 for the shares that he's making. Contractual capacity is when both parties enter the contract, and the law must recognize both sides of the competent parties to fulfill the side of the deal. And lastly, legality is the contract's purpose must be to accomplish something legal and not go against public policy. So all 4 of these things form a valid contract. If one of these things weren't there, it would not be considered valid.